Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Writers' Rants, brought to you by Camille's Harem. Not just a podcast for novice writers by novice writers, but also a YouTube channel by novice writers for novice writers. Because writing is an adventure, it's more fun with friends. And today, I have a bone to pick. Why is it that most stories go the route of portraying religions as evil? Well, I'll proceed to answer my own question because I happen to know the answer already. And there are a ton of reasons and answers why people paint religions as bad or evil within their stories. So in no particular order, let's consider some of them. First of all, you have the Christian Crusades, which are widely understood as selfish and a massive waste of life, and still something that plagues the Christian community today. There are also modern-day religious extremists all over the world who carry out brutal attacks on others. Then you also have Karl Marx, who called organized religion the opium of the masses, and a lot of people buy into that sentiment. A lot of people also don't like proselytizers knocking on their front door. And there are those who, when they think about their own personal lives within their respective churches and religions, they have grown very disillusioned because things have happened that have wrecked their notion of faith. And don't even get me started on secret societies associated with religion, such as the occult, because that is a rabbit hole I don't feel like going down right now. Suffice it to say, there are a lot of reasons, there's a lot of material to use here. It is also easier for readers and writers to accept a corrupt or false religion at work in a narrative than be preached down to by some sort of higher power or God. However, I am making this rant because I find this approach of making all religions evil to be done so often that it's no longer inspired, and in fact it comes across as just very lazy. There is, I believe, value to having good religious characters, respectable churches, and even gods, or a god, in our stories. Now, this approach may not fit every story you want to tell, and that is just fine, because guess what? You do you. You write what you feel is best for your story at the end of the day. But if you're looking for a way to be really different in the world of fiction these days, consider instead some of these examples of a good use of religion and faith. So, starting off, in a world where everyone is falling into the baseness of the human animal, a character strives to achieve a higher moral awareness and way of living. They embrace religious elements to make a safer and more enlightened world. Don't believe me that could work? Well, think of Simon from The Lord of the Flies, for crying out loud. Or try this on for size. A character who is deeply religious already discovers that their church is misusing the faith of the believers to take advantage of them, such as seeking to make them poor or using them as weapons for war. You can do many different things with this. However, as a result, this character fights back to purge their religious organization because they believe their faith to be correct, to be good, but the people who are leading it are not. That is also the character arc of Rathan in Elantris, and he cuts one of the most intriguing, morally gray characters I've come across in a long while. Or you can go the route I went with my own steampunk novel, that the true gods, who have long since been forgotten, come back. And when their existence is confirmed, the entire faith, all the people who have believed in them or have believed in an organization that worshipped these long gone gods, suddenly now has to come to grips with the realization, with the reality that their beliefs are real. And that is something that shifts the entire paradigm. It was really fun to play around with how characters would react to the sudden knowledge that their gods lived and that these gods could interact with them. For some, it came as a confirmation of their beliefs and their way of life. For others, it was this day of reckoning, like, holy crap, I have not been living the way I should have been this entire time. And they become burdened with much more impactful decisions that need to be made when they have a very firm knowledge that there are gods watching them and waiting on them to make these decisions. They can no longer just live with naive faith. And the point I want to make here is that religion doesn't always have to be portrayed as evil and false. And it is very possible to incorporate religious beliefs without being preachy or awkward. Now, I can hear you asking, but Lars, really, how can I do that? Besides, people love evil religions that need to be toppled. And oh yes, they do. And this is yet another reason why I respect Brandon Sanderson Senpai's storytelling so much. I'll take, for example, the Stormlight Archive series. As the novels currently stand, the characters have learned of the existence of multiple gods, and they are caught in a war between these deities. As a result, many of the churches and religious characters have to reassess where they stand on the matter. Some just don't care, and others lose faith. Some reform their beliefs to match with the facts that they've now learned, while others take everything as a confirmation of their core beliefs. And that's what I love about this take, is that it is incredibly relatable, because not everyone is going to react to religion the exact same way. Not everyone out there sees religion as false. Not everyone agrees with Karl Marx. There's a lot of people who love their faith, who love their God, or who love their gods. And that's one of the things that I really love within the Stormlight Archive, is that it makes a very broad spectrum of religious beliefs. If you want atheism, then here it is. If you want murderous secret societies and a cult, here they are. If you want a man who's struggling with his own faith and overcomes all obstacles like Mel Gibson in Signs, well, here you go. There is incredible value in how you use religious elements and themes in your stories, should you decide to use them. Don't just simply take the route of all religions are bad, like so many other novice writers do, but play around with it. See how your characters could benefit from these elements and have fun with it. And, well, that's really all for this rant. There is more that I could say, but I feel that that would be best said in a dialogue. And if you want to have that kind of conversation with me, then please either set things off in the comment section or go on over to our Reddit, where you can talk to us there about it, where we can have very in-depth conversations, because I would love to talk about this with you. And if you want to learn more about how you can improve your writing, then please go on over to our podcast, Camille's Harem, found on Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. We also have art and writing exercises for you to enjoy on our Tumblr and Pinterest pages, and some of our stories are already up for your reading pleasure on Royal Road. Finally, please send us links to vile fan fictions via our Twitter, @Camille's Harem. Links for all of those sites are in the description. And until the next video, tschüss.